Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Welcome to a vlog. I am in the mood to read some fantasy and like a good, not just like read fantasy, but like binge a good series. If you watched my recent reads, which should be up before this vlog, but I read the Prison Healer series, and those books just somehow like re-sparked my love for fantasy, and especially like fantasy series. So my goal for this video is to find a fantasy series that I want to binge and just, you know, sit down and get some good reading in. So I am currently in the middle of The Shadow of What Was Lost by James Islington. This is book 1 in the Lycanius trilogy, and I've heard lots of good things about this one. I'm about 300 pages in, so almost halfway, not quite. And I will say I'm really enjoying it. I did read The Will of the Many by this author as well, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was good, but I wasn't like in love like everybody else. So I'm hoping that this series is a win for me. It's already starting out a lot better in my opinion. I'm liking the plot a lot better in this one than I did The Will of the Many, and I'm still having the same problem with like the characters that I was having with that book, in the terms of I just don't feel connected to them very well. I think the main character in The Will of the Many was Vis. He was just making decisions and I was just like, okay. With these characters, I feel a little bit more connected, whereas they make decisions and I'm like, what's going on? Like, but also I don't trust any of them still. The only character that I trust so far is Asha. What is this book about? I didn't even say. And honestly, you probably won't get much about that from me, but you know what, let's try. So we're following essentially a whole host of characters, but we're mainly following 3 main characters. What's his name? Davian, Were, and Asha. And these 3 were at a magical school that got attacked, and Davian finds out that he is an augur who were outlawed in this world after a war. They were all killed, and if you find out to be an augur, you're basically dead. So he's keeping his ability a secret. Were and Asha are his 2 best friends, who are also keeping his ability a secret. Then the school gets attacked and all goes to shit. Pretty much. Yeah, that's that's the gist, honestly. And so Davian and Were are on this adventure trying to figure out more about his powers and more about just like what's going on. And Asha is on her super secret spy type of stuff, and I'm enjoying her chapters a lot. I think she is badass, and I will say these characters are like 15-16 years old, but they're reading like they're like, you know, 17-18. So it was a bit like confusing, but like, you know, we're rolling with it. It is what it is. But yeah, 300 pages in. I'm really enjoying it. I'm hoping to finish it in this vlog, and hopefully this is the winner where I can continue the series. But I did also do some book shopping, which I've actually been really proud of myself this year. Coffee break. I've been really proud of myself this year because besides these 2 books right here, I've only purchased 1 other book, or maybe 2, which way better. We're doing way better because I love my local library. I love my local library so much. Living in a smaller town, I thought it was going to be harder to get books. No, nobody reads over here. No, well, they read, but not the books that I enjoy. So I barely have to wait for holds. The books that I want are just their new releases. It's been great for the bank account, let me tell you. But I needed that boost of dopamine and serotonin, so we purchased 2 books. First one I got was Daughter of No Worlds by Carissa Broadbent. This is the author who did the Serpent and the Wings of Night books. Tried reading that last year, couldn't get into it, but last year that's not an indication of the book, it's more of an indication of me, so we'll try that again. But I started reading this. I read a couple pages on my Kindle of this, and it seems like I would like it a lot better. Following Tisana, who is a slave, and she is surviving with nothing but sharp eyes, a quick mind, and a touch of magic. She tries to buy her freedom, and instead she murders the most powerful man in Thrall. She flees, and then she joins an organization called the Orders in order to save her life. There's a looming war, you know, fantasy romance. So I'm really excited for this, and I feel like this might be this next series that I binge, but I also have a couple more on my list before this that I want to get to, so we'll see. So I got this one, and then I also bought Bones to the Wind by Tatiana Obey. This cover, she's stunning, she's beautiful, she's gorgeous, and that's why I bought it. So let's see what it's about together. Rasia is determined to destroy her old man's record in the forging. A trial each child must succeed to become of age. We have a trial. I'm going to love it. That's all I need to know. All she needs to do is hunt down a Gonda, hitch its tentacle ass to her windship, and haul it back home in record time. Easy, or it would be if Rasia wasn't stuck on the same team as Nico, a know-it-all spoiled grubworm who never does anything Rasia tells her to do. Nico doesn't care about Rasia's egotistical dreams of glory. This is her brother's last chance to pass the forging, or her father is going to banish him from the family. She needs to scour the desert to find whatever team the bones placed him on, and help kill a Gonda before it killed him. Too bad Nico and Rasia can't get along yet to steer a wind ship straight. We look like we have 2 winners. But that is what I'm getting into for this vlog. I really want to finish The Shadow of What Was Lost, and then maybe possibly start the second book. We'll see. Today Joe is at the office, so I'm just going to have my morning coffee and sit and read for a bit. I do want to go to Marshall's though, because I'm out of vanilla syrup, and I usually get the Torani one, is that what it's called? But I'm getting kind of sick and tired of it, so I want to try something different and, you know, spice up my morning brew. So I've been talking for 10 minutes, so I'm gonna shut up now and go sit and read for a bit. surprise, we're back in my kitchen, but I did go to Marshall's and Home Goods, and that was after a nap. I was so tired. Y'all, it is so nice outside. I used to think fall in Arizona was my favorite. I think it's spring. In fact, I know it's spring. It is so beautiful. Like, it's like cool during the day, warm in the afternoons, and then like it starts tapering. Like, you guys know how the weather works. I don't know why I'm explaining that, but just know it's so nice outside right now. I think after I'm gonna go back out there again, lay in my hammock and read a little more. But first, let's do a little Holly haul. They had such Marshalls, their spring stuff. The amount of self-control that I had was incredible, because they had like the cutest home decor stuff. They had the cutest spring stuff. They had the cutest pajamas. Like, they were like colorful, springy pajamas, and I really wanted them. But I'm just not a pajama girl. But I originally went for coffee syrups, and I wanted to try the Monin brand, because I've heard lots of good things about that. And if you're getting like coffee syrups and stuff like that, TJ Maxx, Marshalls, Home Goods, those places are where you go, because they have the most flavors. You might not find exactly what you're looking for, but you'll find it at a good price. So I wanted to try the cookie butter flavor. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, so I got the cookie butter flavor, and I was looking for the vanilla, but they didn't have the vanilla, so I was like, okay, we'll just try the French vanilla. So I picked that one up. So I got those two, and we'll use those two for now. And then I was browsing, and I found this aromatherapy pillow mist deep sleep in the scent lavender and sandalwood. There was like a mint, eucalyptus and mint one, and I would get that one for myself, but Joe does not like anything mint smelling, flavor, whatever. So I got this one. It should be good. Hopefully it helps us sleep. We've been struggling in that department. And then this is where I just went a bit off course. Okay, this was off course. The next thing, I really don't need another one. Look how cute this mug is. I was like, I don't have spring mugs, and that was the worst justification ever, but I thought it was cute. So I'm thinking I could get rid of one or two of my other mugs to justify me buying this one, because we just don't need any more mugs, and I knew that. But it's so cute and springy, and I don't know what's going on with me. During the winter, I was an iced coffee girl. Okay, granted, I live in Arizona, so it was like fine, but now that it's getting warmer, I don't know what it is about a hot latte in the morning that just hits every single time, particularly a caramel vanilla latte. I am obsessed. So those are all the things I got. I think I did a pretty good job. Besides the mug, I feel like, you know, I did great. Now I'm gonna go now and read, sit outside, because it's so nice outside.
Sa
Welcome back to another day of the vlog. I just picked up a chocolate chip scone from one of my favorite coffee shops in town as a little Friday treat. It's so good. And I came to the library to return some books and pick up a hold. I don't know if I've said it yet, but I love my local library. They have the best, like, I feel like I'm the only one in my town that's reading these books because all the new releases are just always so available. The books are always stocked. I can always make requests and they're just here. It's been great. It's been incredible. So I'm returning some books that I had checked out and didn't get the chance to read and not in the mood to read them anymore, and then picking up some holds. So, and it's so nice outside today. I did some reading outside with my coffee and my wonderful new mug that I am obsessed with and will be drinking coffee from for the foreseeable future because it's just so cute. I have been doing some reading and I was editing this vlog, and the synopsis I give for this book, I was like, even I can do better than that. So I owe you guys a reading update, and I will give one once I get home. I wanted to just do a little check-in. I am now over halfway through. I will do a check-in and reading update once I get back home, but for now I'm gonna eat the scone and go pick up my books and maybe browse around a little bit. Who knows? We are back from the library, and I figured I'd do a little library haul. I didn't get too much this time, which is shocking. First book, which was the hold that I went to get, is Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone by Benjamin Stevenson. I have heard so much about this. Lots of people like this. And it's like a murder mystery type of book. And the back says, everyone in my family has killed someone. Some of us, the high achievers, have killed more than once. I'm not trying to be dramatic, but it's the truth. Some of us are good, others are bad, and some are just unfortunate. Have I killed someone? Yes, I have. Who was it? Let's get started. So, I'm really excited for this one. I've heard lots and lots of good things, so I think I'll use this as like a palate cleanser between The Shadow of What Was Lost and book 2. And then I got a duology. I picked up these Hollow Vows and these Twisted Bonds. I've heard this compared to A Court of Thorns and Roses, which whenever books are compared to that series, I just take it with a grain of salt. But I have heard great reviews of this one. This obviously has to do with Fae. It says Bree would do anything before making a deal with the Fae. Death is preferable to their vicious schemes, but when her sister is taken by the sadistic king, there is nothing Bree wouldn't do to get her back, including making a deal with the king himself to steal 3 magical relics from the rival Sealy court. I've heard these were pretty good, so I wanted to grab them just in case I'm in the mood for them in the next month or so. So this is my little library haul. So let's talk about The Shadow of What Was Lost. I am over halfway through and I'm really enjoying it still. So more about what this book is actually about. In The Shadow of What Was Lost, we are following 3 main characters. 4. We are following 4 main characters. So in this world, there are administrators, augurs, and the gifted. Augurs are extremely powerful beings who have specific powers, who once ruled over this world. they became and the gifted used to serve under the augurs, and they are able to wield magic, and it's called essence. So they're able to yield essence, and in turn they were like the second most powerful, so they used to assist the augurs. And the administrators are essentially people who came into power once they decided that the augurs are getting way too powerful and the gifted are too powerful. So there was a huge war. They killed all the augurs, or got rid of all the augurs, and then they kind of bind the gifted into a set of rules and kind of remove them from power just because they were too powerful. So now the administrators are the new rulers in a sense, and they kind of help to keep the gifted in check and to make sure that they don't gain any more power and become too powerful. And in this world, anybody who's discovered to be an augur is essentially killed. And if you are found using your essence as a gifted somewhere not on the magical school grounds, or using it for bad, you could be potentially turned into a shadow, who is somebody who is a gifted who has been stripped of their power. So with that, we're following our four main characters. We're following Davian, who is an augur who has been keeping his secrets under wraps. We have Asha and Wer, who are Davian's two best friends. Wer is they're both gifted and went to school with Davian. And then later on in the book, we meet our fourth character, Caden. Caden is a mystery. We don't really know where he's come from. We don't know what powers he has, and we are not sure about his connection to Davian. So at a certain point, all of these characters are together, and then as the story goes on, they are separated and go on different paths, but the paths they are on are still connected somehow. And you're just kind of along for the ride to see how their paths are connected and who these characters are. And also in the background, there is a looming war. There are creatures that have an unseen amount of power, and everybody's just trying to figure out, you know, what's going on, including us as the reader, because I have no idea what's going on. So I'm halfway through the book, over halfway, and just when I thought that I was beginning to understand what was happening, it seems like a new thing gets introduced and I just get so confused. But I did mention last time that I wasn't so sure about the characters, like not feeling super connected to them. And I will say, the more I read, the more that changes. I am finding myself more interested in each path these characters are taking, and especially what role they have to play in like the greater scheme of things, especially with Davian being an augur and us not really knowing much about Caden and where he's from and what role he has to play in the war and with Davian and everything like that. And just the way James Ellington reveals certain things, like I've been putting bookmarks in my book and like tapping on my Kindle just so that I can look back and being like, okay, who was this again? What just happened? I've read that somewhere, but I'm not sure where. And it's just been an enjoyable ride, and I'm actually really enjoying it. I think I'm liking it a lot more than The Will of the Many, I will say that. So that is nice. I'm enjoying learning more about the magic system. I love how we're being taught how the magic works in the magic system, how the magic system and the magic works in this world, because our characters are also just discovering their powers. So as they discover it and learn how to use it, the readers also discover it and learn how it's used. And I think that is a smart way to do it. Like, it's a bit info dumpy, but this is info dumping that I can get behind. Like, it makes sense to me. So it's not as confusing as The Will of the Many. It still is confusing because at a certain point a concept was introduced and I was just like, okay, so we're doing this. So that's been nice. It's been fun. I'm going to sit down and do more reading. We also are going to go see Dune Part 2 tonight, so that should be fun. So those are my Friday night plans, but before we go and do that, I'm gonna sit down and do more reading. This book's getting so good. I'm getting obsessed. I feel like I should just order book 2 immediately. But then I also want to read my other books I got from the library today. You will just see what happens. So I'm gonna sit down and do some reading. Good morning, friends. It has been a couple days. It's been a couple days, but I have been reading and we did see Dune. So I'm gonna give you some updates and thoughts on that. It is a rainy morning in Arizona and it's kind of cold and I'm loving it. I love the nice weather, but like, I'm loving the switch up. So most likely I'm going to clean because today is Sunday and my house is a disaster. Clean up a little bit, rot on the couch and read. Gonna make me some coffee first though and some breakfast and then read. So we saw Dune Part 2 and I never read the books. I was never interested in the books. I still am not interested in the books. Like, that's just not content that it's not the type of content that I want to consume as a book. So we're gonna continue on with the movies, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good for someone who hasn't like read the books and wasn't interested in Dune Part 1 to begin with and then really ended up liking it. Part 2 was really good. I think Zendaya and Timothy Chalamet, is that how you say his name? I don't know, I'm really bad with that. But they killed it. Their roles were amazing. I'm loving the story. I actually had no idea what this movie or books were about, but I'm really enjoying it and I can't wait for, I think the next one is Dune Messiah. I can't wait for that one, but it was pretty good. Joe can share his thoughts when he comes home if he wants, but I think we both enjoyed it very much. Reading update. I have about 100 and so pages left of The Shadow of What Was Lost and I'm ordering book 2 because I think at the beginning of this vlog I remember saying that I wanted to find the next series that I could marathon, and I was right thinking that this was it. This is so good. There is I don't know if I've mentioned this, but there's like a looming war in the background. There's a boundary in the north that is letting in creatures of a time previous, and they are just messing some things up for these people, and they're coming into Indira, which is the world that we're in, and they are super powerful. The humans can't necessarily defend them by themselves, so they need the gifted's help, but they're not willing to change the laws that stop the gifted from using their powers. And the gifted are kind of like, well, honey, if you're not going to change the laws, we're not helping. And it's also so interesting to see like the prophecies that are unfolding with Davian what's his name? Davian, Caden, and and Asha. Like, those four are so interconnected and they have no idea, and each of them have a specific part of information that they're not necessarily full on sharing with each other. And there's another person too, Terrace, that he's intricately involved, and they're not sharing all the information with each other. So there are bits and pieces of people knowing things, people not knowing things, and seeing how that plays into the story. So I'm really enjoying that. So I'm probably gonna finish this book today because I was binge reading last night. I'm gonna have some breakfast, some coffee, a muffin, and just enjoy a nice rainy Sunday and rot on the couch. Hello friends, it is a couple days later and I realized I never ended this vlog. I did end up finishing The Shadow of What Was Lost, and I think I'm gonna give it like a 3.75. The ending was insane. I immediately ordered books 2 and 3, and I think I'm going to read them after I read like 2 other books. There's a duology that I want to read that I checked out from the library. I think it was in this vlog. I'm pretty sure, I don't remember, but I want to read that and finish that off before I get started on books 2 and 3, just because I know that might take me a long time. But yeah, that ending, my head was like, what? Like, I am so confused. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what the implications of after the war. There was like a battle, like it's not a war, there was like a huge battle scene, and the state of the characters and their relationships and just where they are and where they have to go, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, and I'm a little nervous, especially for Caden, and just piecing together who Caden is with the bits and pieces that we have, but also being kind of confused on how Devin, I'm forgetting his name already, but I'm confused how he fits into Caden's like background and story. And also Terrace, there was a section in here where he's talking to one of the administrators, and I don't know what Terrace's role is either. I don't know what any of their role is. I'm nervous for sure. He is going to have some battles, and Asha, I love her. I love her so much. I think she's so smart, yet she makes some dumb decisions at some points, but yes, I think she's so smart in just like how she knows almost everything that's happening, but how she doesn't know so much at the same time, and I'm just so worried for her. That's essentially it. I really enjoyed it. I'm excited to continue on with the series, and I feel like I finally found like an adult fantasy series that I can binge read and really enjoy. So I'm not sure exactly what this vlog is, and it might be a little boring, but it is what it is. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you in another video soon. Bye.